Hey pups, Pup Copper here. So, I'm in the lobby of the Hilton right now on Thursday, the first day of DragonCon, if I can keep my earbud in my ear here. So, yeah, I got my badge. See? Yeah. And yeah, ready to have fun this weekend. So, hope you pups are staying safe and have fun at DragonCon if you're here. Hashtag DragonCon 2021. Arr! Hey pups. So, here's the first clip of DragonCon footage. So I'm in line here to get into the America's Mart on Friday the 3rd. So this is the first full day of DragonCon, and I figured, why not go as early as possible to beat the crowds? And, here you can see me just kind of gradually walking in with the rest of the people who had the same idea. And here I am entering the America's Mart, and you can see the exterior and everything. Yeah, we're just slowly making our way through the badge check. There's some little toy advertisement thing. And here we are, actually heading into the first floor of the vendor hall. Yeah, this was an interesting experience because the last couple of years of in-person Dragon Cons where they've had the vendor halls in the America's Mart, they've had it there for a reason. And it has still been ridiculously crowded, but this was really nice. It was really easy to move around and navigate between places and get between the floors, whereas when it was like twice the attendance of this year, it was more problematic. And let's see. This is me walking around the Marriott on my way to a panel for DuckTales on Friday the 3rd as well. So, and it covered both the reboot that has David Tennant in it and the original, the OG DuckTales from the early 90s. That was like a staple of my late 80s, early 90s. That was like a staple of my childhood. And, it's just kind of wandering around, taking the long way to where I need to get on the bottom level of the Marriott. And you can see all the costumes and people walking around and everything. And, that was the incredible thing. People were actually wearing masks. The DragonCon people in the closing ceremonies told us they had something like 95% to 99% mask compliance, which was amazing. I felt fairly, other than the crowds, and I use that term loosely for DragonCon, I felt very safe. And, and this is the still Friday. I'm coming out of the Westin, and this is seeing me do my thing here, walk through the crowds, make my way out to Peachtree Street. I mean, the Westin is a really nice hotel. I've stayed in there for one DragonCon many years ago, and before it was a host hotel, and it was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous. And we're just kind of, again, meandering out. I'm still kind of puzzled why they put all the meeting rooms by the front entrance. It's really weird to me. But, it wasn't as bad as you think, getting out over to Peachtree Street. And here we are. Coming out onto the chaos of Peachtree Street. And you'll notice this too, but for some reason, a lot of the people going to things in the Westin aren't as dressed up as like the people over in the Marriott, the Hyatt, the Hilton. I don't know if there's a particular reason for that, and here I am out on Peachtree Street. I believe this is me walking back from something over in the other host hotels that same evening. I don't remember what. I may have been walking back to the Westin from dinner. I actually was in the Westin quite a bit this year, more than usual, just because I've gotten into D&D, so I spent a lot of time over in the D&D track, or not the D&D track, but the tabletop gaming track. And, that's not a totally unusual thing for me. Either intentionally or unintentionally, each of my Dragon Cons kind of have a different theme, and for whatever reason, and I just end up spending more time in one panel track or the other. Like some years it's been a big, I've been in a lot of Star Trek stuff over in the Hilton. Other years I've been just everywhere, and some years like this year, I've just been, well, actually this year, the first year I've gone to any of the tabletop stuff, but I was over in the Westin quite a bit. And no, this was not the day that there was a street preacher on that corner who, doing street preacher things, like more so just talking about idolatry and stuff like that. But yeah, it's, you find everything at DragonCon. And now this is me walking through the Hyatt walkways to, I think I'm on my way to the Hilton. And this is that same evening. I think I was going to like a space panel over in the Hilton, which I am thrilled to say was great, and the science track was great too, because they finally stopped trying to shoehorn everybody into those tiny meeting rooms the long ways, and instead they laid it out horizontally so you can fit so many more people in, and you can actually see the speakers. It is such a great change versus years past. And here I am going over the new Sky Bridge. I say new Sky Bridge is a relative term. All these Sky Bridges have been around for a while. But anyways, Space and Science tracks used to have panel rooms that were not configured well, and everybody was pleading for years in the app to please change it or give them a bigger room, because they're very popular tracks. And I can't remember if it was 2019 or 2018, in the closing ceremonies, I actually said, can you please give these tracks bigger rooms, because they are popular. They are popular. Oh, here's the one of the shrines to the Cult of John. And I'm giving my little blessing of sign here must be 18. I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the video when we get to see two of the parcels of John. And yeah. And this is, and this is me in the Marriott now. So the Sky Bridge that I went over goes from the Hyatt to the Marriott, and then if I'm right, I am going towards the Hilton, I believe. I have to make my way through, Spartan singular. I have to make my way over to the Hilton for my next stuff, which means going through the mess that is the Marriott lobby, which is amazing during DragonCon. Don't get me wrong. It's just, if you're trying to get from A to B in a particular amount of time, it ain't fun. It ain't fun. But the upside is that later in the evening, starting early evening on Fridays or on Friday of Con, you do see a lot of amazing costumes in the Marriott, and it is like the party hub. Yeah, and there's a Mario over there. I saw the guy with the dollar bill on the fishing pole around a couple of times. I don't know what that's from exactly. I mean, that's the great thing about DragonCon, that you'll see stuff which makes no sense. There, Lego Spaceman, you'll see stuff that makes no sense to 99% of people, but then there's like that 1% of people who will be like, I get it. Like, I saw a guy who was doing Orville Peck cosplay, and if you've never seen any of Orville Peck's videos, you should check him out. He is my favorite gay cowboy lampshade, because that's a thing. But yeah, I asked the guy, "Are you doing Orville Peck cosplay?" He's like, "Yes." Surprised I got it. And this is Saturday the 4th. I'm coming out of Peachtree Center Station. I've done the con long enough. Since, I want to say, I've been going to DragonCon since 2005, 2006. And I've done the con enough that I've done the parade several times. And I enjoy the parade. I like the parade. It's just, I'm at a point in my life now where it's like, I don't want to stand. I don't want to fight the crowds to get a spot on Peachtree Street to watch the parade, stand there for 90 minutes, and then have to battle my way over to wherever I'm going. So this year I chose to do the sensible thing, and instead I found a tabletop gaming panel in the Westin at 10 a.m., which is the same time as the parade, and I watched the parade on YouTube at home when I got home for the night. And it worked out pretty well. I mean, I was able to get into my panel. I had fun. And this was great. I have to really give it to the tabletop track. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied, but I have to give it to the tabletop track. They had some excellent panelists, and as someone who is in the very, very, very slowly designing their own homebrew tabletop game. I mean, it's just basically a skin of the Traveler engine, or Traveler rules system with a custom setting and things like that. But anyways, I'm making my own game, and that track provided me with so much valuable information that I loved it. And yeah, just make my way downtown. Cue the music. No, but don't. I don't want to get a copyright strike. We'll keep this royalty free or this Creative Commons music on. And yeah, this will cut off after I get into the Westin. And yeah, and this is later in the day when I am going to lunch in the secret food court. So all the three main host hotels, the Marriott, the Hilton, and the Hyatt, are all connected to the food court at Peachtree Center through a series of tubes. And that's where I'd say 99% of people eat, is either in the food court or out on Peachtree Street. But across this other tube in one of SunTrust's, or I guess it's Truist now that they're going through a merger, but I'm still going to call it SunTrust. In one of the little buildings here that SunTrust has, is their office space. They have a little tiny hidden away food court that I've actually never been to before, and this was my first time going there. You know, it wasn't anything too huge, and it was geared. You can tell it was geared towards the office crowds. But you know, you got a little SunTrust bank there. You got a Dunkin' that's over in the right or left-hand corner. A dry cleaner. Got a little shop. There's always a little shop. There's like a buffet place. There's right straight in front is an Italian place. Over in the corner is a burger place, and in the left corner there's a Mexican place. And yeah, it was really nice. I was able to get my food and haul it back to the Hyatt very quickly. I mean, versus waiting around in the food court at Peachtree Center for a while. And this is Sunday, going up the long escalator ride on the other side of Peachtree Center Station. So this, for those of you who have never been to Atlanta and are unfamiliar, basically our what we call a mass transit system, MARTA, runs under Peachtree Street and dumps out, and there's a station here at Peachtree Center that's way underground, and you have to take these really long escalators to get up top, and it has 4 entrances depending on where you want to be dumped out at. But this particular escalator goes up into Peachtree Center proper, and you'll see that as I walk through here. And this is Sunday, by the way. This is Sunday of Con, and yeah, this is gonna be a long part because you get to see my full walkthrough here. But yeah, Sunday is a little more relaxed because there's a lot of partying on Saturday night, and there's a lot of stuff going on. There are parties on Sunday night too, but Sunday's a more relaxed day, and I'd say there's probably fewer. Saturdays is the big day for people that are dressed up in their cosplay. Sunday is still a cosplay day, but there are fewer people doing it. Most people, I think, will opt for something a little simpler, like this person in front of me. I don't know, I can't remember what their gender is. All I can see is they have long hair. Has on like just a Hawaiian shirt and a little crown. Oh, it's a lady. Okay, but still, I don't know. They appear as a lady, so I'm going with they. They have a crown on, so it's just something simple. I mean, I didn't really dress up. The extent I dressed up was I had my little mask with my web link, and I have my little puppy ear cap that you see in my videos. And this is early in the morning, about 9:45 ish. Nothing's really open in the food court yet. But yeah, this is the main food court, which is hopping all through con. It's open to like something ridiculous, like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's busy the whole time. This is, from what I have heard anecdotally, this DragonCon is when all these little restaurants go into the black for the year. Never mind the office crowds that are in all these buildings throughout the year. DragonCon is really when these restaurants get into the black. So there's a tunnel straight in. I use that word loosely. There is a tunnel straight in front that was straight in front of me there, and that goes out to a parking garage, which I sometimes use during con. It's really handy. This particular tunnel that I'm heading down towards it goes directly into it goes into one of the office buildings that abut the Marriott, and then you cross over into the Marriott itself. And I have to say, this DragonCon was great. It was a great DragonCon. It had a really great energy. I think everybody was just glad to kind of have the con back, because we were all worried if it would actually go off again this year, or if it would be virtual like it was in 2020. But I am very happy with how the con was run, how it was with the variety of programming. There were some times where it felt like, what do I do? I don't have anything to go to, and I've had that problem in regular years past, but it felt a little more acute this year, because there are times during the day when a lot of rooms are closed for deep cleaning. So it is what it is. But I think I did the right thing by taking those times just for self-care, and just find a nice quiet place, sit, get something to drink, just kind of chill out. Oh, so we're coming up on the Holy of Parcels, and there's a daisy from Animal Crossing. But yeah, here. Oh, I didn't get a good video of her. That was one of the Holy of Parcels of John. Back over in that corner in 2019 at the last in-person DragonCon, there was a one of those FedEx cutouts with the guy, and his name tag says, "Hi, I'm John." Over the course of DragonCon 2019, that poor thing, the FedEx office people in the Marriott really didn't know. They really didn't think that through. That poor cutout was just vandalized. It was it was memorialized. Offerings were left in front of it. It got crazy, and by I'd say Sunday morning, a small cult had developed, and now it's a pretty sizable benign cult, and then it was removed over Sunday night, which really cemented it as a cult, the cult of John of FedEx. And the thing about it is that we are his Holy of Parcels, and we say sign here, must be 18. He died. He ascended to the place where there is no to the place where there is no return shipping. And this is me just walking through the Marriott. Again, I'm crossing over to the Hyatt. I think I had I don't remember what I had that morning. Maybe been a Star Trek panel. But I had something over in the Hyatt, or not Hyatt, in the Hilton. When I started going to DragonCon years and years ago, because back then, I'm going to show my age here, it was only the 3 host hotels, the Hilton, the Hyatt, and the Marriott. And a lot of the fan track programming was in the basement of the Hyatt. And then there was, gaming in the basement of the Hilton. There was the dealer room. It occupied a couple of ballrooms in the Hyatt, and then the Marriott basically had like the main programming and some odds and ends, fan track odds and ends, and that was it. And it was kind of a stretch for 40,000 people. And this is me not remembering which level I'm on and which level the Sky Bridge is on. But anyways, yeah, this is what DragonCon is now, is a very radical change. I almost don't go into the Hyatt anymore, other than to just like get from A to B, or to go to like big guest panels. Like I went to a Battlestar Galactica panel in one of their ballrooms. I think that was really the only thing I had in the Hyatt this year. And yeah, a lot of what's in the Hyatt now, in their little catacombs in the basement, are just like the literature track things, the fantasy track, things like that. I'd say this year the majority of my time was split between the Hilton and the Westin. Now the con eventually expanded to include the Sheraton as a host hotel, and they have like things like the alternative fiction and X-Track and a few other things over there, in addition to like medium-sized guest panels. And then I think Trek Track was in the basement of the Hyatt when I first started going. Then I think it went over to the Sheraton for a few years, and I had because of this is me going over to the Hilton, because of reasons, I was away from DragonCon between 2012 and 2016, and by that point, Trek Track had moved into a room in the Hilton Galleria level, which is their fancy word for their basement meeting rooms. And yeah, things have changed significantly. Now you have, as the host hotels, you have the Hilton, Hyatt, the Marriott, the Sheraton, which I had known about, but there's now stuff I go to over in the Sheraton. And then there's the Westin as an official host hotel, not just like a hotel where people stay. And this is Monday. This is Monday afternoon. I think it's like 12 o'clock or so in the Marriott lobby. It's dead. The con is over. The closing ceremonies for the con are at 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon, and the con is dead by that point, pretty much. People are checking out. They're taking their flights home on Monday to go to work the next day. There's stuff going on. Tracks are doing like their closeout panels. There's still handful of guest panels. Just odds and ends. But for the most part, it's pretty dead. But yeah, Monday is pretty dead. Yeah, some people are doing very casual costumes that they can cobble together or make multi-use. Throw a helmet, wear a t-shirt and some cargo pants, put a helmet on, call yourself Tony Hawk. I think that's what that is. But anyways, yeah, you can tell the vibe is very different. And for those of you who watch the Hunger Games, you can tell that the Marriott is the tribute training center, and I believe it's also in Loki. I haven't watched Loki, so I don't know. But yeah, this is the lobby area where everybody was partying. This gray carpet used to be a more colorful carpet pattern, and people became attached to it for sentimental reasons, because they would wait here for ridiculously long amounts of time to get into panels. So like they'd get into the line to get into the room. And a quote-unquote cult of the Marriott carpet developed. So yeah, it's kind of like the same phenomenon as the people who love the Portland airport carpet, but a little bit more intense. Yeah, this is just, taking the time to walk around while I had nothing to do. Because, the closing panels the closing ceremonies were like at 4, and I had like an hour or two to do nothing. And this is like the cardboard cutout for, or not that one. This cardboard cutout is for this brewing company, and somebody had grabbed it and put it next to that little shrine to the Cult of John. And you can see it's been defaced pretty heavily. That's kind of what happened to the FedEx thing from 2019. But yeah, this is kind of like my final memory of DragonCon for this year. Defacing of a promotional beer poster, and that's really it. So yeah. So if you pups like this, boop that like button and paw that subscribe button, and tune into more videos from me, Pub Copper. Arroo!